this made smoother than your smoothest criminal. Shamo, about that money, what we get into. Shamo, about that money, get residuals. Shamo.
What it do, people? You're now tuned in.
Popovich.
Popovich
TV.
TV.
Oh yeah.
We live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling back up in here one more again. So if it's your first time, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. To everybody else, you already know. Tony, there was no other way. We in the end game now. Let's talk about the big news. You know what I mean? Like, you might have seen me leaning in the beamer, floating off the top rope like Tommy Dreamer, feeling type comfortable, hitting these chicks with big, what we love to do. You not in my league when it comes to this money, like Max B, aka MaxBigaVeL, like the wavy god, right? The Silver Surfer himself has finally come home, right? And welcome home to him. I'm happy for him. You know, to do what people say is 16, 17, 18 years, I think he said. And he wastes no time under a lot of the posters that I've seen. And I know Max, a.k.a. Charlie Rock, you know, from the block, from the neighborhood. Harlem is small. The movers and shakers make it even smaller. And so welcome home to him, right? After all that time. Riri, what's up? I want to check in. And we spoke about Max B in this sense, right? In the sense of not like the case and all that, but in the sense of how will the adjustment be coming home from that long, right? You get institutionalized, you caught in the time capsule, you know, Captain America, 40 years, 80 years, or whatever Captain America was on ice, right? You get put on ice, they park you, and I know what that's like. For me, 10 years on one stretch, right? And I know I'm not an angel. Certain things, it takes time to adjust. But anyway, I say that to say, under the comments, people is like, yo, he back like he never left, and woo, woo, and and I get it. You know, they just, you know, being congratulatory and basically saying that he seems to be like he ain't miss a beat. He came home, went to the Jet game, they end up winning, right? They end up winning. Even though they traded some of their best players. Go figure, right? Football not scripted and rigged. Playing the Cleveland Browns. You know, went to the studio, showed us a little sneak peek of the vibe or what's maybe to come, him and French. You know, they did the Coke Boy wave for a long time back in the DVD era. And real quick, because I want to talk about this for a little bit from a couple of different angles. Mainly the adjustment part and how will he adjust but also from this angle in the sense of, you know, making mistakes. And while he was, I guess, at the Jet game, they was eating and shit. One of his mans was on live. Another man was talking about Mano, you know, Mano on the podcast with Jim Jones, right? And recently, what was spinning in the clip, and we spoke about it, as far as him not forgiving and all that type of shit. And we speak about Rick Ross in the sense of God forgives, but I don't, like the album, right? Humans be brave and bash with it, like, yeah, nigga, I don't, God forgive, I don't, nigga, I kill your family, shit like that, right? We know that we could be the most hideous. But anyway, that's his prerogative, whether he forgive him or he don't forgive him, that's they thing. But then he asked Mano, like, yo, could you know, rock with your friend if they was cool with your enemy? So he still label him as an enemy. Mano went into like a whole spiel of, you know, my friend, I couldn't do that, loyalty, etc. So anyway, Mano they got a mutual friend. Again, New York is small. The double M's, the move makers, make it even smaller. You know what I mean? If you outside, you outside. If you one of them type of people. And I'm not saying that like a brag thing or, you know, whether you're not outside, you're not. Either way, it's cool. Don't make you less than or bigger than. But he like, nah, he like, yo, I'm with Max. You know, sitting right next to Max, and you hear the silence and, you know, people is trolling. So it's that part. I remember when I first came home, had the Nokia phone. I was pocket dialing people so much and fucking up because you're not updated. As the J Mills and DNA battle, update your resume. You're not really updated. Yeah, you was the man when you was, you know, back in the days. So it's back in the days because some people like, yo, I was in high school, now I'm 32, now I'm 35 in the comments. So you know, that's a long time ago. So people, even though I understand the statement, he's back like he never left. Oh, nah, we're going to see some probably big mistakes and follies. And, you know, the internet is undefeated. So people already talking about his teeth and shit. And people forget how funny Max and Harlem niggas is. Harlem niggas is funny. So he like, you know, I guess the person that do the fashion, like what you got on today, what's the drip look like? And he like, yo, we Louis Vuitton from the sneakers down and shit. You know, bigging the other brand up. He probably don't know no better. Or he just think that's a flex. And for some, you know, oh, but you're black. That is a flex for a lot of us because we come from not having much. So anytime you could get a little designer, anytime you get a little Gucci, Fendi, Prada, you know, you think you elevated, right? And that's cool because I was on that wave at one time too, and we've been off that shit. You know what I mean? But he like, you know, got the drip. I start with the boxes, you know, funny shit. But people in the comments like, yo, you better get your teeth fixed and woo, 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 who uncle is this? You know, and then some people was obviously they fans. And again, he went to the club and definitely was like for the first day home, he did it up as you supposed to because if you've never been locked up and you're familiar with my content, you know when I say that feeling, that's that feeling when you come home. When you roll 6 head cracks in the roll, leave everybody fucked up. When when you have your first child or you graduate, you know, when you study for something hard and people was doubting you, but you proved them wrong. That feeling, that's that feeling. So, you know, again, I'm happy for him, but I hope he dodged the bullshit. People trying to pull him in. See a lot of people surrounding him. You know, I don't know if they was there through the whole time or not. At one point in time, we was fucking with Mazar. Shout out to Mazar, engineer, producer type dude. We was in the studio some years back. He always held Max B down and shit like that. But seeing a lot of people, and obviously you're going to get a lot of praise, etc. But then it's this part, right? Because this is another angle. WhaT 100, seem like everybody that come home or East Coast niggas, right? It's always the East Coast niggas. When the East is in the house, oh my God. And they from the West Side. Pac said the West Side is the best side. Obviously I don't believe that. I'm from the East. You know what I mean? So I can't go there. Anyway, he on the Adam 22 podcast basically saying this is not no new information. Max B allegedly, maybe kind of sort of telling, right, being a rat. That's been out there. I don't know if it's confirmed or it's been substantiated. People in the comments was like, niggas get online and say anything. I'm not surprised or shocked and amazed when you put the beat on as far as WhaT 100 saying that about Max, but you know, we'll see. But I had spoke about Max in the sense of how's the rap career gonna do. You know what I mean? Being a man yesteryear, now you coming home, it's the internet, it's streamers, it's, you know, a whole lot of shit that he's gonna really have to adjust to. You know what I'm saying? It's not just bounce back like you never left. It's the mental, it's the nostalgia when you run into certain faces that you haven't even thought about because they haven't been in contact, etc. You know, being around French and, you know, it's one thing to get letters and be on the phone and all that. And I'm sure he might have had access to a phone or two. Obviously, he's the wavy guy. So, you know, CEOs and people in there, they be on it too. So if you got the right dollars, you could get some. So I'm so sure he's seeing Instagram, but it's, you know, seeing it online and being still caged up, then coming home and free. And I'll just give you a quick example. I got visits when I was locked up. Not a lot, not as much as I wanted, right? And I know some people that never got none. So I was fortunate, I was blessed, right? So I'm not complaining. But from women, from family, I seen women on a visit, you know, obviously, festivals where people come, you could do a little more on the festival than a regular visit when you're sitting across. Even some COs in Sing Sing, Green Haven look good. So you see women. But for 10 years, it's 10 years, nigga. You know what I mean? If you've never been, then I don't want to hear nothing. But when I came home, and I got picked up, my aunt and my cousin Marie came to pick me up and shit. I don't know if she's still watching. And I came home from Sing Sing, like the New Yorker Godfather, or the King of New York, rather, right? And when I first got on the train after, you know, going to parole or, you know, just got to go and do shit, when you locked up for that long and you ain't around people, and then all of a sudden, it's not even no perversion, it's just the stuff that even probably women might go through for not seeing that much men except the security guard, the officers, or unless your boyfriend is to come through and you want to visit. When you around men and women now, and you know how New York train systems is, or any metropolitan place, Chicago, where the trains might get crowded during rush hour, etc., and you sitting down and some two women sit next to you, or you brush a woman accidentally, etc. All these different things that you have to adjust with. Driving, always used to get lost. My ex-wife used to be like, damn, why is it taking you so long to get here? Why you always gotta get directions? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Get your license late and you gotta catch up to a lot of things. Stack, what up? Even if you was that guy or that chick before you left. So we hope he don't get caught up in the wave. We'll see if his career, takes off again and he create a whole nother wave. Then it's the Jim Jones factor. People bringing him up in the comments. Cam want to sign, 50 Cent taking jabs. So now, even if he don't want to be a part of none of that, you automatically, you don't got to respond. But what I'm saying is, you're going to be spinning in the clip, as I like to say, because other people was trying to, throw your name out there into a trick bag, or, put you involved in something that may even use you. Like 50 Cent was telling Jay-Z at one time about Beanie Siegel when he was supposed to have signed him. And Beanie was like, yeah, I was going to sign with Gene or whatever, but, I didn't want to be used as a pawn. Because 50 Cent was telling Jay, like, you don't want the shooter? All right, I'll take him. You know what I mean? So, you don't know people's emotions. Not emotions. Agendas. You don't know what they really got planned. Is it good intentions? Do they really got your best interests at heart? Do they want to see you get to the bag? And then obviously he older now. You know what I mean? We all older now. If you from the era and you in that age bracket, you ain't no young man no more. So you got to move different. Because we all, if you in your 40s and you an uncle era now, right? You an OG, you made it to the stage. We got a lot less years in front of us, than we have in back of us. You know what I mean? Like, you got a lot of years in back. That don't mean you're going to live another 40. You might be taken out tomorrow, next week. I've seen plenty of people come home. One of my family members came home. You know what I mean? Rest in peace. My cousin David, a.k.a. Lotto. I think he did 17 years, something like that. All right? I think David did like 17 or 18 years. Same as Max. Came home 2 years later, if I'm not mistaken. Got real sick. Went up there to see him in Syracuse. That's where he decided to come home to, go up there, mess with his shorty that was holding him down. And he passed. Just like that. You know what I mean? You may not get that trip to Miami. You may not get to go to Vegas. You may not get to fuck all the bitches you think you're going to fuck when you come home. Because the universe don't work like that.
You know the vibes. Positive TV. Oh shit, we live, we rolling, we unscripted, we authentic, that feeling.